that kind of makes me feel like it's not worth it. But again, you're paying for the convenience factor.
Yeah. Jsean.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jsean, and this is what's happening in real time in real life. So I wanted to kind of show you something that I picked up because recently I'm trying to kind of get more into the self-filming and being on camera a little bit more. So I'm always trying to find easier ways to do that. Now, this particular item right here is something that I was kind of on the fence about. And the reason is because I believe it's overpriced, to be honest with you. Just like a lot of stuff that you always buy. I say this with shoes, I say this with apparel, I say this with all kind of stuff. A lot of times you do pay for what you get, but it's never going to be worth what it actually costs to make and all this other good stuff, right? So with that being said, I have stuff that are like selfie sticks, not selfie sticks, but like smaller tripods, handheld tripods. They're pretty much things that are needed when you use stuff to self-film. Like if you're using a G7X or any type of GoPro, you always want to have these little handheld little tripods, right? I purposely bought an A6600 because I wanted the convenience of a flip screen. I do have an EOS R. I don't like the flip screen on the side necessarily, but it still works, right? The thing of it is, it's smaller than a traditional DSLR, which one I'm used to the most, but it's still a little bulky for me personally. Taking it out and about, I guess you could say it's a little inconvenient for me personally. So for me, it's all about convenience. That's what you pay for. So if you think about it, I said this example before, you could have something like a universal remote. You could have a Blu-ray remote and a TV remote. Why do you need to spend? Because there are some universal remotes that cost hundreds of dollars, right? If not more. Why spend that money when your TV and your Blu-ray player came with a remote? It's convenience. That's really it. It doesn't hit play any different. It doesn't change the volume any better. It's just pure convenience. The item that I picked up is a hand grip or with a remote built in. So as you can see right here, this is a mouthful. So let me just read it from the box because I can't remember all this. But it is the SONY GP-VPT2BT ABCDEFG. Now, the last part I was just being smart about, but it is GP-VPT2BT. Very weird. I think they could have shortened that, but who cares, right? So as you can see from the picture, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, I have a few different tripods, mini tripods that come with different brands. This one sold by the company Gratis Group, right? They make this, they sell it. My screen's not mirrored here, so I'm like going the wrong way, but you can purchase it from B&H if you want to buy it. This is very inexpensive, lightweight. At first, I didn't really care for it, but then the more I used it, I was like, you know what, this isn't bad. This is a different type of system. You twist it. Let me show you. You twist this like this, and you lock it like that, right? Now, the Manfrotto Pixie, whatever, you push a button, which is easy also. And this one, the difference with this, I believe it has a wider leg spread or it's taller. I can't remember. Something that I did like about it. And it's very lightweight. If you drop this, you're not going to probably care at all. So that's a cool thing about it. Now, you can use this and tilt it pretty quick. The Manfrotto is a little easier because you just hit one button. Everything's one hand. This one, you kind of got to, you can twist it, but somebody may need to use two hands. Other than that, this Sony one, it came with one, I don't even know where it is. This isn't the pouch, but it came with sort of like a little sleeve. It's not pleather. It's like oh, here it is. I'm sorry. It's a Sony pouch. It's like velvety, kind of lint. I don't know soft fabric. I don't know what this is called. But it's a soft fabric. And while I'm doing that, I have this little light from Generate. This is not a sponsored video, but these are things that I actually have. Some stuff that I use and some stuff I don't actually need to use. So I wanted to potentially start doing some giveaways in the future. Hopefully the near future when I'm able to. Because I hate having stuff that's going to waste, right? So something like this, I'm going to try to see if this is still charged. It hasn't been charged in a long time. Now, something like this is cool because, let me see, let me put it on a colder temperature. Something like this is cool because it's very compact and lightweight. The only problem is that there's no actual temperature readings for the color temperature you're using. So the reason I'm adjusting this is because I want you to be able to see what I'm showing here. Hopefully it's not blown out. But this is the patch. Now, this is the grip. While I do like it, and I think it's convenient, great, all that good stuff. Turn that down a little bit. what I just feel like it's a bit overpriced. Now, some people complain that it's plasticky. It has to be. Well, in my opinion, it's a strong plastic. The reason I think it's in plastic is because to cut down on the weight. I purposely bought a A6600 and a 16 millimeter 1.4 to cut down the weight from my EOS R, which is already a pretty compact camera. It makes a difference when you're holding the camera, when you're traveling with it. If you're somebody like me who already doesn't feel comfortable carrying cameras in public, filming yourself and stuff like that, every ounce makes a huge difference. So I get why they made it this way. It's cool. Now, I'll say that there's things about this. Let me just, aside from the price, let me just talk about what I realized using this in the short period of time that I've had it and in real world use, I guess. Man, I hate doing this and like trying to find the center frame here. The convenience of the buttons is cool. Now, I have a remote. I don't have it on me. It's in the other room, so I don't feel like getting up. It can do most of what this can do. It's kind of like one of these little cheap things that you would find on eBay, Amazon, or something like that. It's just a simple push button. You can actually clear zoom in and out with it. I used to use it a lot when I was doing more technical type reviews. The other thing would be you can take pictures. You can lock it so you don't accidentally hit a button. It has a C1 button. As far as I can tell, the C1 isn't customizable within itself. It's C1 that will relate to your camera. You have to pair this with one camera at a time. That's not a big deal. It paired very quickly. All you do is hold, I believe, the photo in this toggle rocker, hold it upwards. The T is for I guess, wide and telephoto or something like that. You just hold the photo and the up button. You hold it and you'll blink and it'll recognize it. You hit OK, boom, you're done. Now, if you want to use this with another camera that's compatible, you have to do the same thing again. Now, I don't know if it saved the settings. I'm not really sure about all that, but that's what I realized. I only got it for my 6600, which is actually right now on a Manfrotto tripod. Now, as far as usability, I feel like to hold it in real life, you have to you can't hold it like this to get more length. I have to hold it upwards like this. There's like a little groove right here. I have to hold it like this. The reason is because in order to make these buttons actually useful, if you hold it far away to get more length for like vlogging, man, this is difficult. I can't even reach the buttons. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel natural. So naturally, I have to hold it like this. So if I want to hit record, I just go ahead and hit the button while my finger and my hand doesn't move. Now, one thing I don't like about this design, there's a tension knob on this side, right? It does really nothing because these are locked in place. They click. You push this button in, it clicks. See, it clicks. There's like fixed positions. I wish the positions were a little tighter, like more close together, like the teeth were there were more teeth that allowed it to like click in many more positions instead of these. I don't know. There was a time where I wish it was like in between a position, basically. Now this knob changes how smooth it goes from this when you hold the button in. I don't know why you would need that because you would never hold it in the in-between position and tighten it up that I can think of. I just don't think it would make sense because it'll end up moving to the position that you don't even want it to click at. I don't understand the purpose of this. You would never just hit this button and let it fall. I don't think you would. I had never found a position a circumstance in real life where that was the case. You always hold, move, hold it, move it. And you pretty much let it click in place as you're pushing the button like that. Then this is cool, I guess. You can push a button here. Sorry about the focus. Push a button and you can twist this around and it locks when you flip it, or you can do halfway. Now, the cool thing about this, I guess, is that instead of when you're holding like this and you don't want to turn the camera around, that's not a big deal. But if you're utilizing the controls, I guess that's where it would make sense because you want to flip it and keep your hands on the controls. That makes sense. I get it. Now, what doesn't make sense is I know that left-handers want a lot of things built for left-handers, but in reality, most things are manufactured for right-handers. I guess there's more right-handers in the world. I'm not really sure. But being that I'm a right-hander, I hold it like this. I will push a button, grab the camera, and move it, right? Adjust it. I'm talking about this right here, this up and down. The problem is the button's on this side. I can't even reach this. So what I have to do now, man, I hate this focusing. I have to actually move my hand like this to push the button, then move the camera body. I have to move my hand off the position. Now I'm no longer near the buttons. Instead of being like this and me just squeezing the button where my thumb is all in the same area, I have to wrap my thumb around and then push it. Now, I know somebody's going to say that's very petty. Why is that such a big deal? It's not a big deal, but it's inconvenient. It is because this thing is supposed to be convenient. That's the whole point, right? You hold it, you push a button. Like you just hold it like this, push a button, move it. Hold a button, push it, move it. Like it's all simple. Your finger never gets away from where it's supposed to be. With this, I have to kind of grab it, now move it. Move my hand back, move my hand back. After a while, when you have to do it a lot, it does make a difference. And it's kind of annoying. Now, the legs open up pretty decently. What I do like about it is the leg spread isn't too wide. It's not so wide to the point where it takes up too much real estate on the table. Now, for me, you'll see people put this on the table on examples or reviews on YouTube, and they'll film themselves. But the problem is, why do you have this remote on here? It's supposed to be next to you so you can use the remote controls. What would be really cool is if this piece like popped off and you could carry it with you and put the tripod far away and remotely control it, right? That'd be cool, but it doesn't work like that. The battery's in the back here and it's all stuck together. Now, what's the point of having this tripod if you have to put it so far away from you to get your nice field of view? And because the tripod's so short, you can't have it in front of you. You'll be ducking or the camera view will be going up your nostrils and it won't look very good. You want a little more eye level-ish. This doesn't really do that. So I just think that's kind of a limitation for my needs and my purposes. So with that being said, I would never want to use this further than arm's distance or maybe a little bit further, where if I wanted to do a review, say like this, right? So just say I'm talking on the thing and this is actually attached to the camera, right? It's over here now. And then I need to use it. So what would I do if I wanted to go ahead and zoom in? I'd be like, hey, look at this. Let me find something else. Look at this lens cap. Isn't it great? I can clear zoom, see my hand? I'm reaching over to the tripod because I'm at arm's distance. This is where the lens is, right here. This is how close I am, right? I'm like, ooh, look at this thing. And let me zoom in. Am I Oh, you know why? Because I'm on lock. There's a lock button, and this is exactly why, so you don't accidentally hit record. Because let me tell you, by me adjusting and move my hand over the buttons, trying to reach knobs and stuff, and these releases, I was accidentally hitting record quite often, and I don't like that. Now, one thing would be cool about this is a confirmation, meaning like once you hit record, if there's an LCD display, if you hit record and it starts counting down or something that shows you actually engaged, because it would suck to be far away from your camera, hit record, and you don't even realize that it never actually engaged on the camera. That would suck. So anyway, let me unlock this. So I'm like, oh, cool, look at this thing. Let me move this tripod away. Hold on. This mock stuff is weird. All right, so imagine this tripod actually being used, but it's not on it right now, right? I'm arm's distance away. So I'm reviewing something or I'm talking to you on the camera. I'm saying, look at this, blah, 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 blah. And now I can clear zoom in. And I say, see this lens cap? Isn't it great? See how you can see, I don't know if it's in focus. See how you can see this and see that? And then I can go ahead and reach my arm over here and zoom back out. Boom, back to talking. That would be convenient, right? Because that's what I do in real life. Now, if you had to mount this far away, how would you do that when the thing is far away from you now? You'd have to walk over, hit the button, and hit walk back. That's inconvenient. It doesn't kind of make sense for my purposes. Now, if you find a purpose in it, that's great. I'm just saying for how I thought it could be used, that kind of turns me off a little bit. It would be perfect if, for me at least, if those things were changed. Now, everything that I'm saying that would be a change or a potential upgrade, fix, or not fix, but like a modification, I don't see anybody who didn't even need those things that would complain that they were there or implemented. I only see goodness happening as long as it didn't cost too much to manufacture it a little bit different. I think we're all winning here. So the remote that I have that is like this little remote here, basically the only problem with this is it's kind of like a line of sight infrared type of technology. So depending on the camera, it'll be on either the right or left side of the body. And the problem with that is if I'm filming in my hands on the right, let me show you. Well, let me not show you. I could be, just say this is the camera lens right here. The body is in this section. Just say the infrared is over here. And I'm naturally a right-hander, so I want to hit the button. This isn't going to work. I'm going to have to go like this so it can see the line of sight. And then it'll work. It'll zoom in, hit record. And I do that indoors, but outside I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work nowhere near as good. Excuse me. So those are factors that you have to take into play. Now, this being Bluetooth, what's cool about this is, see how I have it in my hand right now? It is connected. It's pretty much always connected. There is no on-off button for this. It just works, right? You turn the camera and it takes like a watch battery. It's something that would probably last quite a while. Not a regular watch battery, but something like you find in an Apple TV, the older generation, like a kind of big one. And I can rock this now. Watch. Oh, actually, let me switch to the view and see how I'm zooming in. See how I'm zooming out. I can actually do this stuff and use it as a remote. And from what I can tell, you can be kind of far away. So this is actually useful if you have your camera on a different tripod. But if this was your only tripod and you were out and about, I don't see it really being used on the tabletop unless you already knew your angles and you didn't need to use the zoom function. Just for me, I do use the zoom function. So it was something that I thought would have been cool if it was maybe a detachable little interface here. That would be pretty dope. I don't know why they put this button on the left side and put this tension on the right side. I don't even know why this tensioner is here. I feel like if anything, it should be opposite, or both sides should be the push button, like an either or button. I haven't figured out why this is here. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe it's a safety thing. So just in case it falls off the click part, something else is holding it together, I guess. But I don't see why you would put something that heavy on here where it wouldn't hold with those mounting points. So now this is the drawback, the price. I see some people saying this is very affordable. I'm sorry, but it's not. This thing, I can afford it, okay? And I don't think it's affordable. The thing, it costs like $138, I think, $140 basically. I think that's even if it's still being expensive compared to other accessories I see, even if you charge $50 or $60, I still think that's kind of pushing it. But just say it's $60, right? So you buy like a little Manfrotto tripod, you're spending, I don't know, say you're spending $30, $25. I get it. This has a little more function and design to it. Double it. 60. Shoot. 70 seems too much. 50, $60 seems kind of comfortable. A little pricey, but comfortable, right? $130 is pretty expensive. You could literally buy a tripod, an inexpensive tripod for that price. That kind of makes me feel like it's not worth it. But again, you're paying for the convenience factor. Materials alone, is it worth it? Of course not. Convenience factor, for me, I think it's useful. I don't think I absolutely need it. So that's probably why I don't believe it should be $130. Now, if you think that this answers all your problems and it can help you make more content and do whatever you need to do, cool. I think that you should spend the money and get what you need out of it. Now, if you can just afford it, why not? Hey, I guess go ahead too. But if you're on the borderline and you don't have the money to afford something like this at the moment, I would suggest getting something else, something similar to like this. If you don't need the rocker part or even to hit the record button, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Honestly, when I'm vlogging, I hold the camera, I reach over, hit the record button, hear the beep, and put it down anyway. Having the remote is a cool function, but it's not a necessity. So I would suggest, and everybody keeps talking about how great this is, like they didn't know that this is pretty expensive for what it is. So I guess what I'm saying is, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of want to step away from a lot of quote unquote reviews, because they don't really feel like they're real world. Now, I know you do tests for the video to make it feel authentic and real, or real world circumstance, but in reality, they always seem like ads. They seem too perfect to the point where you're promoting it versus reviewing it. I personally am getting tired of that. So if I do something like that in the near future, I'll clearly state it. I'll clearly state where I stand with it and get to the nitty gritty. This is exactly why it's less formal, and I'm doing it like this because I don't want it to appear like I put that much thought into it. Just a regular person picking it up for the first time is not going to be looking at all these tech specs. They're just going to use it and see how it works for them. If you want that tech spec, then just, I don't know why I said that so many times, but if you want those details, ask a question below somebody or I'll answer it, or you can find another video that go into those details that you could actually read yourself. You know what I'm saying? Half of that stuff they say is in paper, it's in ink, it's in the white papers, it's right there. I just want to see how it works, and not even a professional's use, just a regular person who just happened to be in Best Buy maybe and saw it. Like, ooh, that might be cool. Let me just try it real quick. Again, Let's get off of that part. But I still think it's a good buy. I just think it's a little overpriced. Again, if you really can't afford it, it's not really in your budget, I would probably just suggest one of these right here. This is very inexpensive. It'll get you started, and you may not ever need this. If you can afford it, hey, get it. Why not? I can afford it. I don't absolutely need it, but I do like it, so I will say that much. So I bought it. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to keep it. I was skeptical about whether I wanted to keep it or not, if it was even worth it, but I think I'm going to keep it. Anything to help me. And plus, I just like gadgets naturally anyway. I don't absolutely have to have it. I probably didn't absolutely have to have the A6600, but it helps me a lot. It makes me enjoy what I'm doing a little bit more, a little bit better. And eventually these things will pay itself off, so it'll work itself out. And if not, I still enjoy it anyway. I do love tech and all types of tech. So I'm just going to end the video right here. Hopefully you got something from it and not more confusion. Make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level. You're in no competition with nobody except yourself. And make sure your next move is your best move, or at least your better move. Until next time. So please hit like, comment, share, and subscribe. Later.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay. Sean.